All right, buddy, welcome back for another installment of the Gladiators RoundTable Playoff Edition. 5 o'clock on Saturday is when the second season starts. You guys will head out to Philadelphia, take on the Soul. It's 5 o'clock on Saturday, and if you can't make it out to Philly, of course, you can listen on 92.3 The Fan, watch on CBS Sports Network, or go to the official Gladiators Playoff Watch Party at Dave & Buster's in Westlake. We've got Collin Taylor, Shane Austin, Marrio Norman here with us to discuss all things Gladiators playoffs and more. And we're going to start things off. Collin, I mean, everything's out the window now. You guys have one of the best rivalry matchups in the AFL going against the Philadelphia Soul. They, of course, were the team that finished first overall in the conference this season. But right now, you don't worry about any of that because anything can happen when we get to the playoffs.
You're absolutely right. First of all, on behalf of us, I'd like to thank you for having us back on this metaphorical roundtable.
The table went out the window a long time ago.
We appreciate you
more
having
of an
us
idea
here.
than an actual
right,
thing,
than an actual table.
And the table wasn't even round when it was.
Right.
So
It's
it's been abstract from day one.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. So thanks for doing that. When you think Philadelphia, Cleveland, you think of a pretty impressive rivalry. Carried over obviously from last year, those 3 wins in the last play of the game. This year been a completely different story. They've had our number these last 3 games, including last week. We feel like we still haven't given them our best football though. You know, I know they think they've seen our best stuff, but we haven't even gotten close to playing our best football offensively, defensively, or special teams. So you're going to get a battle. You're going to get a heck of an arena football game, high scoring. You know, hopefully from us, hopefully not from them. But it's going to be war, a 4-quarter war, and it's going to be fun to go into Philly and, you know, if all things work out well, move on past them. But we're focused at 5 o'clock to be ready to go to war.
And we'll talk about the defensive side here in just a moment. But Shane, you look at this matchup, and it's number 1 and 2 in terms of touchdown passes in the AFL going head-to-head between you, Dan Raudabaugh and yourself, the only 2 guys this season who were able to top 100 touchdown passes, and that set a new Gladiators team record. So is that something you were thinking about at all going into that last one?
I mean, it's an exciting challenge, like Collin was saying, but I mean, you don't try to think about how many numbers, statistics. I mean, all those are completely out the window at this point. Dan is, a heck of a quarterback. You got to respect the guy's talents, and all I'm trying to do is focus and matching them and trying to not necessarily worry about what they're doing, but just try to this game is all that matters, and basically outscore them because they're going to put up some points. That's just how the arena football game works. And, we're just going to focus on just putting on at least one more than them.
and Marrio, you saw a lot of the Philadelphia Soul last season before you went to the CFL, and a lot of the guys from that group, from their team, have carried over to this season. Same as the Gladiators, a lot of the same bodies there this season. When you look at that matchup against their offense, what are the things you guys need to take into account?
Well, I always say, as far as from a defensive standpoint, it starts up front. So we got to win the battle up front. So I feel like once we dominate the line of scrimmage, everything else in the back end, as DBs, we have to be physical with their receivers. They got smaller receivers, so when guys in motion, we got to try our best to put hands on them. Last week we did a pretty good job on it, but we got to do it more often and, play sound when we do run zone coverages, and when we run man, we got to execute, be right there in the hip pocket so we can either get a breakup. Ultimately, we would like to get the interception.
And how have you felt since you got back in the lineup? Just coming back into the indoor game, smaller field.
I felt good, I mean, obviously, I've played this game more so on the professional realm than the NFL or the CFL. So this is more so what I'm used to. But still, that big field, it obviously changed your angles, and then coming back to the smaller field. So it's just more so, like I said before, the angle standpoint. You just gotta hone in on your techniques and skills. But I feel great. I feel good going into this week.
And Collin, no strangers when these two teams meet. What's the dynamic out there on the field? Because you know these guys pretty well. 3 meetings last year, important games. This season, 3 meetings again. A lot of the same guys. I mean, what is the dynamic? Because, like I said, there's no secret out there when these two teams play each other. You know what they're about. They know what you're about.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And even down to the coaching staff. I know our coach coached with their head coach for a while, even played with their coach for a while. So we know what we're going to get every time, we go out there on offense, and they know what they're going to get as a defense when they see us. It just comes down to winning individual battles. We know they have a good defensive line, got a great secondary. They've brought together a really good football team. But like you said, it's a similar football team that we have beat before and we know we can beat. So they have great players all over the field. Like you mentioned, Dan's having an MVP type season. But our goal is just to go out there and score, at least one more point or one more touchdown than they are. Like I said, it's going to be a battle. They have some great guys. We know that. They know we can play. It's a fun dynamic. It's exciting because, like you said, you know them so well. I mean, and even some of the guys on their team, I played with one of the receivers for 3 seasons. So we were good friends. But anytime you cross that line, you become enemies right away. And so it's a battle. It doesn't matter how close you are. Off the field. Once you get on the field, it's a head-to-head war, and it's going to be fun.
And Shane, what is the last thing you guys are going to talk about really before you head out of that locker room shortly before 5 o'clock on Saturday to play this football game? What's going to be that last key, that last point of emphasis?
It's always gonna come down to execution. Execution, just doing our job, eliminating the mistakes. I mean, that's what in any game. That's what's gonna the turnover margin is always gonna play a big factor. So it's really about out there focusing on us, not worrying really too much about what they're doing, but just focusing on doing our job to the best of our abilities and executing each and every play and taking our just game to a higher level, just with that chemistry and clicking right from the get-go. Because that's sometimes been an issue for us playing before is slow starts and then trying to come back from behind. We want to get on them early and stay on them often.
And for whoever wants to take this one, but the environment at the Wells Fargo Center, it is one of the tougher places to play as far as places that we go. It seems like they have some fans there who really get into it. What's going to be the key to taking them out of the building? I know Marrio, maybe with a big hit, you could do that right away.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anything we do to set the tone. I mean, offense come out, march the ball down first possession, or defense come out, big sack by those guys up front, or around the back end we get a huge hit, a knockout, get out crowded too. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of gladiators in the building. So anything we can do to get that morale up from the get go, so that'll be great.
And Shane, offense, Collin, what's going to be the key right off the start?
I mean, when you go into a hostile environment, into an enemy territory, obviously when you're at home, you got the energy of the crowd to feed off of it. But it's nice, and I like away games because when you have a hostile crowd and you can kind of quiet them, it's actually a nice feeling. It's kind of peaceful.
Right.
Well, maybe it'll be to a pass to that guy right in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, you got to hope so. Kind of like Marrio said, though, Philly's so close. This fan base here in Cleveland's incredible. We've seen it, 12,000 strong at home games. We know that we're gonna bring some fans there too, and so it'll get to a point hopefully in this game where they get quiet, and then you start to hear the Gladiators fans kind of rise up, and that's always fun. We know the Cleveland fans have our back, and we know that Philadelphia is going to do everything they can to cheer against us. So it's going to be fun. Like we mentioned, we like going into those environments because there's nothing like scoring a touchdown and kind of walking off and being able to hear a pin drop just because you've silenced the crowd completely. That's fun, and that's something we definitely hope to do this weekend.
Well, it's the Gladiators in the Soul Saturday at 5 o'clock, and if you can't make it out to Philadelphia, 92.3 The Fans where you listen, CBS Sports Network's where you watch, or there's the official Gladiators playoff watch party at Dave & Buster's in Westlake where you can watch the game on their giant TVs. There will be food and beverage discounts, so be sure to check that out. One way or another, plenty of ways to consume Gladiators football, and best of luck this weekend. Marrio Norman, Shane Austin, Collin Taylor, thanks for joining us.
All right,
Thanks
for
so much.
having us. Let's kick this thing off.
Let's do it. Gladiators Roundtable, thanks again for stopping by.